Hey. All right. So, what I'm going to go over today is 5 reasons that you should probably leave that relationship alone. Okay. I'm going to list off some reasons that, or some ways. Let me start over. All right. So, you have been feeling something is off, right? You've been feeling like you don't know what it is, something's not right, but maybe you should leave your relationship. And maybe it's the relationship itself that is making things seem so off and seem so wrong, right? I'm going to give you 5 signs that you should leave that relationship, or 5 signs that maybe you should consider changing some things in your life, because you know you can't change other people. Maybe you should consider changing some things that you're doing in your life, or these are some signs that you should leave that relationship alone. Okay? It's Joanna Nicole. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in inner work and goal setting. I attract the life that I think I deserve, and I attract the love I think I deserve, and I hope you do the same. So, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go over 5 signs that you should maybe leave that relationship. Okay. And these are signs that some people, they're not even paying attention to. And these are some signs that they're like, maybe it's not the relationship. So I'm going to stay in the relationship. Or they're like, no, I'm not going to give him that much credit. So I'm going to stay in the relationship and continue to endure, because they just feel like they deserve to endure those things. Um, but we won't get into too much of that. I do like to start each video with a quote. So I went on and I found a quote that applies to this video. So let me read it to you guys. In the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. Self discovery. All right, so let's go over these 5 reasons. I've been talking all day, so I'm probably going to be sipping my water. And of course, I got my notes here, so I'm going to be probably looking down and reading my notes. So bear with me. But the first one is money problems, money issues. And we're talking about you're in a relationship, right, with this guy. And for some reason, you constantly have money issues, money problems. And you are like, what is going on? Like every time I look up, I'm having some issue about money. Now, when I go through these things, right? Okay. What I need you to really reflect on is if you was having money problems before you even met him. Because if you was having money issues and money problems before you met this person, then maybe it's not him. Maybe it's you. Okay? Keep that in mind. But if when you're single or when you're without this person, it seems like you have less issues with money. It's like you're saving, your savings account is stacked up. You know, you can afford vacations. Yeah, emergencies might come up, but you can handle them. There's no stress about it. It's like when you're not with this person, you don't have these issues. Okay? So you have to reflect on that. You are smart. Oh, where's my water? My water's right here. You are smart enough to understand, okay? But if you're not, it's okay. Just do what I said. Reflect internally and kind of remember, like, before I met him, did I have these same money issues? Or was they as frequent or as big than when I met him? Especially, I feel like if he is a person or, the man in your life who constantly plays the hero when you are having these money issues. Every time you call him, hey, this happened, I need some money. Hey, oh my God, you will never guess, I need some money. You're constantly calling him, constantly got to call him. This came up, oh, I need some money. Oh my God, I can't afford this. Now, ladies, you should be able to call on your man when you need help. But unless you just love being the damsel in distress, I don't, because the damsel, I can't even say it. I don't, because the damsel in distress is always in a state of stress, distress. I need help. Save me, save me, save me, save me. Unless you like that and you feel like you deserve to be the damsel in distress, then maybe don't worry about it. Okay? But I don't like to be the damsel in distress. I like for things to arise and, hey, I know that I could call on my man if things arise. But if things are constantly coming up, who wants to be that dependent on the whole save me, save me, save me, save me, save me? I don't know. Maybe you do. If you don't, then you need to pay attention to that because it's stressful. It's stressful. It can be very stressful. That's why it's damsel in distress. She's stressed. She needs saving. She needs help. She's about to drown. Okay? So pay attention to that, especially if, let's say, for example, you're an entrepreneur, which I am an entrepreneur, and you're constantly making plays or flips or whatever you want to call it. You're constantly investing, and all of your investments are falling through. But then you're like, wow, when I was single, I could invest and it would multiply and it would just be like fruitful and it would just be so like effortless. But now every time I'm trying to invest, it's like a stress. It's like a hustle. It's like a force. I'm forcing it. That could be a sign, that this person is not for you. Now, I don't want to make it too biblical, but if you want to get biblical, that is a sign that God is telling you to move, to change, to exit. God is trying to tell you there's no more harvest here. You need to leave. Number 2, your plans don't work out. And this is kind of the same as money, okay? And I'm going to probably say this for each step because I want you to remember when you're evaluating this situation to always evaluate before and after the relationship. Before the relationship, during the relationship, after the relationship. How was things before you met this person? Were you the type of person whose plans always, worked out? Or were you that type of person who was like, damn, I really wanted to do that. I guess I gotta wait. Or were you the type of person that's like, oh, I planned this for years and now that it's here, I can't even do it? Because if you weren't, then you need to see if you could figure out, maybe it's the relationship, maybe it's this person who is stopping my blessings, right? But trust me, you will know, because once you get out that relationship and you leave him, if you're still constantly can't make no money, still constantly plans falling through, then maybe it was you. And you need to do inner work, and you need to figure out how to change some things within you. Um but let's say you made a plan to go back to school, right? And you're like, I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to get an education and become a nurse, or I'm going to start a business, or whatever it is, whatever you're planning. And then it always seems like those plans, sorry, those plans fall through, they never pan out, and you're like, man, I'm doing all this planning and nothing ever works out for me. One way that you can test that theory without leaving the relationship, just to see, like, plan some things without your partner knowing. Okay? And trust me, if you're married and you're in a partnership where you guys usually make decisions together, I guess try to make it a small decision to where it's not like, why would you ever do that without me? You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Be realistic. Don't make it too big to where you kind of like in the wrong. But try to make it a little something, to where you test the theory out and you don't express to them the plans. You don't include them in the plans. And you just see if things work out. Because, and it can be small, like for example, I'm a business owner and I was in a relationship with someone, and I would tell them every time I was about to change something in my business, do something in my business, hire help. And it seems like every time I express to them what I'm changing or doing in my business, the things that I would do would not even work. And it would just be like, that was a horrible decision. But why was that a horrible decision? It really wasn't a horrible decision. But why did it turn out to be this way? Like, you would just be like thinking like, what is going on? Now, there was times, and I was still in this relationship, there was times where I would make a decision in my business. And at this time, it was my business. It wasn't, a relationship between me and him business or whatever. So I would make a decision without telling him, whether if it was a new hire, whether if it was a new service that I was adding, whether if it was an event that I was having, whether if it was a new campaign that I was running or trying. And it was just crazy because it was like when I did not include him in the plans, it worked out, and it was just crazy. And I would just be like, I wouldn't even want to tell him what happened. And I would just be like, yeah, today was a good day. And then on the inside, I'm like, girl, you are the bomb.com. So try that. Also, see, it's levels to this because I've been married. And I've been in long-term relationships that did not end in marriage. So it's tricky because when you're married, you can't just leave. Oh, well, I ain't making no money, so I'm leaving. No, that's a whole nother level of inner work. When you are in a marriage and these things are happening, you going into debt, you're, plans ain't panning out, whatever it is, but you're married to this person, you're going to have to do some real deep inner work, okay, to be able, because you can't change him, you can only change you, to be able to turn all that stuff around. It's possible. I don't think I was able to do it. The reason why I feel like I wasn't able to do it is because you kind of need a team, baby. And when I say you're going to need a team, you're going to need a team, baby. But that's okay, because if you do need a space where you can grow, join the 21-day challenge membership, joannanicole.com, and you will have a community of women uplifting you every single day. We wake up at 5 a.m., we journal, we goal set. It's thebomb.com. But anyways, let's go to number 3. So number 3 is, how can I explain this? Illnesses, whether they're big or small, continue to happen. And these are like things that are not normal. Again, I'm going to say not normal, because if these things were happening before you met this person, you cannot blame it on the person, okay? If you were like, oh my God, my face was so much acne, before I met him, and he loved me with all the acne, you can't be like, you're the reason I have acne. But if you have a face that is, clear skin, you haven't changed your routine or anything, and then all of a sudden you're getting all type of breakouts and acne and rashes, that's when you need to consider, this might be a sign my body is rejecting this person. You constantly get BV. I was trying to think of what it was called. But you constantly getting BV, bacteria vaginosis, and you're like, what the heck? Like, when I don't get this. Which, again, that could be a tricky subject. But your body can reject the person. So it could be rashes. Oh my God, you would never believe. So I just remember when I was in this relationship, and it's so fresh, but I would get pink eye. So I had started getting my lashes done, and I remember telling him how much it cost. And I think it was cheaper back then. I think I was paying like $120, $120 to get my lashes done. Now I think I pay like $160. So I think it was cheaper back then. And I remember telling him, I was like, I paid $120 to get my lashes done. And he was like, why would you want to pay that much to blink? And that's crazy. That's out of control. Like, he just hated it. Long story short, I ended up getting pink eye. Now, I was just like, yeah, it was probably because of the lashes. So the lashes were off. I did not have any lashes on anymore. And I continued to get pink eye, and I was so miserable. I was so miserable. I was getting pink eye maybe for like 3 months straight. And I'm telling you, the lashes were gone. The lashes were no longer. I just had to keep going back and getting the medication. And so I would cry about it. I remember crying to my employee, which is crazy. I cried to my employee. And I said to her, I said, this is weird, because I'm usually one of the most healthiest people. This is unheard of for me. Like, I'm one of those people who rarely gets sick. Nothing really happens. Like, you might get a little sniffle every now and then, but it's like, I'm not one of those accident prone people or one of those sickness prone people. And I remember crying to her, and it was weird because I had to send her home. And I just was like, girl, how did you crying to your employees? Like, that's so unprofessional. But it is what it is. She understood, because I was like, I gotta send you home. There's like, I'm sick. So when I had that conversation with her, it didn't even dawn on me that it was probably because I was in a relationship that I didn't have any business being in. And yeah, it was crazy because, again, you have to evaluate yourself. You have to understand, is this a behavior or situation that is normal and that has been happening before I even met this person, right? Because if it's been going on before you met this person, no, it's not the person, it's you. But that was something that was not normal for me. Like, no. So, and then now that I'm not with that person, I'm a healthy being. I don't have those issues anymore. And I can't even think of, I can't even think of an issue that I have. No. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to evaluate yourself before and after. Okay. Number 4, your self-care routines and things that you normally do. Again, I'm gonna say that things that you normally do start to fade away. Okay. If you're a makeup girly, oh my God, I just keep thinking about Cash Doll. When Cash Doll, I think she was dating a football player. I think that's what it was. And she started walking around with no makeup. Oh, sorry. And the internet went crazy. Oh, he's sucking your feminine energy. Don't be changing for that man. Don't. Okay, okay, okay. And I agreed to a point. And then she put makeup back on because she probably agreed to, like, oh, damn, I'm giving myself to this man and I need to keep some for myself. So, because she started back wearing makeup and everything. But if you remember that, like and comment and tell me if you remember that. But anyways, yeah, Cash Doll, she stopped wearing makeup, and if that was a part of her normal routine before she met him, and then all of a sudden she's in this new relationship, she's pouring into this guy, she's giving him the best of her, and he's like, hey, I like you better with no makeup. And all of a sudden you're not wearing makeup. Or you used to, get your hair done, I like you better with your natural hair. Now, there's nothing wrong with natural hair girlies. Again, you're going to do what you want to do and what you deserve. But if you're not a natural hair girl and you feel the most confidence in wigs and weaves and your hair braided and up and done, and he comes around and he's like, I'd rather you wear your natural hair. And you're like, well, my man like when I wear my natural hair, so I'm going to wear my natural hair. Did he even meet you with your natural hair? When y'all first started talking and dating, did you have your natural hair? Like, be honest. Were you wearing makeup the first time y'all met? Oh, I don't like when you wear those type of clothes. I'd rather you cover up. But damn, you were attracted to me before. Two things that I always notice when I know for a fact that that guy is not for her. One thing is when she dresses so cutesy, so like you could tell that she's just like herself in what she's wearing, and then all of a sudden she's in sweatpants and baggy t-shirts, or just leggings and a baggy t-shirt, and you're like, she's looking kind of tomboyish, and you're like, what's changed? Why all of a sudden you get with this guy and now you're not dressing like you used to? Now you wearing sweatpants and baggy t-shirts everywhere. And then another thing is, if you know what the what do they call it? I wonder if I wrote it down. Oh yeah. I wrote it down. So they call it the when you see a white woman, a Caucasian woman, and she has this haircut, and they say, "Oh, that's the haircut that shows people that she dates black men. That's the black man. I date black man haircut." But it's a shortcut. It's easy to maintain. It's not the most feminine, right? It, what number about? Hold on. That's because it takes a lot of maintenance and self care to maintain longer hair. And if you can't maintain your self care routine, you're going to end up cutting your hair. You're going to cut it. You're going to be like, I don't have time to do it anymore. So cut it. So I don't got to deal with it. The I date black man haircut. When that when that man is stealing your freaking feminine energy and sucking it out of you and using it for his benefit to be successful in life and to make a lot of money while you're looking wore out, your face ain't even glowing anymore, you look tired, and you can't even maintain a image that you used to, because most of the time when they meet those women, they have beautiful long luxurious hair. They have I ain't even finna go into all that, but anyways, they end up cutting their hair because they didn't let this man suck all their beauty away. We're on number 5. So number 5 is, you don't feel like yourself anymore. Now, again, I'm going to say, you have to be able to self-evaluate yourself to understand, is these feelings and emotions something that was there before you even met this person? Because, for example, let's say, oh, I'm so bored. I don't feel like myself. I'm not excited to do things anymore. And I don't have any motivation to create and blah, 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 blah. You have to think, okay, so before you met this person, right? Did you have an exciting life? Or was you still boring before you met them? And now all of a sudden you just realize you boring and you want to blame it on them. It's not their fault, because before you even met them, you were boring. You didn't have an exciting life. Okay. And that's why some guys, they be trying to like ask little questions like, have you always went on vacations like this? Have you always had room service? Or is you just trying to do that because of me and who I am? Don't be one of them. Okay. I'm not one of them. I'm not. There's a lot of things that I haven't done in life, and I will be honest to tell you I haven't done them, and I will still be honest and tell you that don't mean I don't deserve it, and I don't want it, and I'm not gonna have a standard. But some guys will get that attitude and be like, before you even met me, were you doing this? Were you even able to do this before you met me? Anyways, if he has that mindset, you should be extremely disgusted. So maybe go check out my video about how to become disgusted and red flags so that you can become disgusted when they say stuff like that. But when you're evaluating yourself, it is okay for you to ask yourself those things so you can make the right decision and have the right discernment and do the right inner work. Okay? Do the right inner work. So ask yourself, before you met him, how did you feel? How did you live? How did you see the world? Did you appreciate the trees? Did you listen to music and sing in the shower? Did you, create blankets and knit and paint and stay up and read books all night or something? Or, you know, ask yourself these questions. Were you going on a vacation every month, or was you going on a vacation every, few months? You're like, oh my God, usually I go to on a vacation every quarter, every 4 months I go on a vacation. Now that I with him, I ain't been on a vacation in 2 years. Well, damn, usually I go out with the girls at least once a month when I'm not with him. Now that I'm with him, I ain't seen my girls in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. You know what I mean? You have to reevaluate yourself to see, hey, before I was with him, I was authentically myself, unapologetically. I enjoyed the life that I created alone. Now that I am with him, it seems like I'm not myself anymore. I don't do the things I used to do. I don't go the places I used to go. I don't enjoy what I used to enjoy. Now that I'm with him, things are different. And again, I will say this, it's totally different when you're married. It's totally different when you're in a very, very, very committed relationship. You're going to have to communicate some things to your partner. All of these things. So if it's money, if it's your self-care routine, if it's your plans, if it is your inner work where you just don't feel like yourself, or what is it? If you're getting sick and you got rashes and shit, you might have to communicate with your partner some things to see what his mindset is, and if he is encouraging your growth and encouraging to get back to you and get back to your self. Like, for an example, if you're like, hey babe, it's been some things off lately, I'm trying to figure out how to get it back to what it was, and he's like, nothing's wrong, I got you, you're fine, I don't need you to do that, it's okay, don't worry about it, you don't have to. Then you might need to start thinking about some things, like, for example, I literally just had lipo 360, which was a surgery that I really, really felt I needed and wanted. Um, and when I say needed, I ain't saying anyways, that's a whole nother story. But it kept getting pushed back. I had planned the surgery for one date, and I had included my male spouse, husband, who I was in a relationship with at the time. And he was so negative about it. He's like, you don't need that. You don't need that. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love your stomach. I love your fat. I love this. And he'll squeeze it and play with it and all that. To the point where I had a conversation with him. And I need to shorten this video up. But anyways, I had a conversation with him. And I said to him, I understand, but this is something that I need to do for me. His opinion did not change. He was still, I ain't gonna say he wasn't supportive, but he was still not supportive. It was so weird. Oh my God, I said I was shortening this video, but it was so weird because what happened was I had a conversation with him, and it seemed like he had a different conversation. So one time I was having this conversation with him, right? And I explained to him that the surgery was paid for. I said, I paid for the surgery in full. And I said, I am more concerned about how much help I will have at home once I have the surgery. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. And I explained to him, I was like, because I know that I'm going to need time to heal. And I know that I'm going to need support at home with the kids, getting the kids to school, getting the kids home from school, and more. And I explained that to him. And once I said it, it was weird because, like I said, it was like he had a whole different conversation that we weren't even having. And I said, "Did you hear what I said?" But anyways, this was his response. He said, "How are you gonna afford the surgery?" And I said to him, I said, "Babe, did you hear what I said? Are you paying attention?" Because I thought we was on the phone having this conversation. So I literally thought that maybe he was distracted with whatever he was doing to the point where I'm like, maybe he didn't hear me. So I asked him, I said, "Did you hear what I said, babe?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay." And I said it again. I said, "Well, the surgery is paid for. I'm just worried about once I'm done, am I going to have the support that I need at home?" And he repeated what he said, and he said, I'm trying to remember, but I don't know word for word, but he said something like, "Yeah, I don't know how you can afford that surgery, but maybe you should push it off until next year, save some money." He said, "Push the surgery off until next year, save some money, and then maybe you can afford it." And after he said it the second time, I left it alone, and I'm like, something ain't right. I'm like, something ain't right because I just told him twice that the the damn surgery is paid in full. There is nothing to save. Like, ain't nothing to save for. What am I saving for? So it was just weird to me. I'm trying to find my point because um it just showed me that his thinking was so flawed, and I couldn't even wrap my mind around it. But he just was not supportive of what I needed and what I wanted and what was best for my life. And that's how I knew, because I already know myself. Like, when I'm single, that's why it'd be so hard for me to get in a relationship, because that freedom, the freedom you have when you are single, honey. When I'm single, the freedom is crazy. When you set a goal and you don't have to have anyone else's opinion in it, anyone else's energy in it, anyone else's manifestation and vision of your goal, it's freedom. It's just a crazy freedom. But I gotta end this video, and I will say those are the 5 things that may be signs that you need to leave this relationship, and that it has ran its course, and that God is trying to tell you it is time to let it go. Let it go. Okay? If you are looking for a space where you are safe to grow, subscribe to the channel so you can see more content like this. I would appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you are looking for a community of women who support each other, uplift each other, and um, in every aspect of your life, okay? Um, as far as personal growth, financial growth, relationship growth, anything you can think of, okay? Join my 21-day challenge membership. Every single day, we meet at 5 a.m. We journal. We goal set for the day. We read our books and discuss them. and we get a feminine recharge every single day, okay? So if you're looking for that type of community, go to joannanicole.com. It is not too late. We do it every single month. On the first of the month, it starts. On the 21st, it ends. And then next month, we do it again. So it's never too late to join. And again, I appreciate you for watching this video. Hopefully, it helped you. Helped you attract the love you think you deserve. Hopefully, it helped you attract the life you think you deserve. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. You made it to the end of this video. I can see now, are a real one. You are serious about your inner work. And just because you are doing inner work for yourself, that doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Join my 21-day Feminine Recharge membership and join a community of women who uplift each other, support each other, and hold each other accountable so you can accomplish your goals quicker. Every single day, it is a challenge. Now, every single day, we're going to wake up at 5 a.m. We're going to journal. We're going to set goals. We're going to read. We're going to have great discussions and have a feminine recharge every single day. Join by clicking the link in the description. Hopefully, I will see you there. And I thank you and I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video to completion. I do hope that you continue to attract the life you think you deserve and attract the love that you think you deserve. And I hope that you can definitely go ahead and show that subscribe button the love that it deserves. Show that like button the love that it deserves. Show that comment section the love that it deserves. And go ahead and share this video to someone who deserves it. Bye.